You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
My baby beside me at the wheel.
Welcome to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. If you're just joining us, we're going to be joining up with Harvella Jones, who's the president of the National Homeowners Advocate Group, and they are going to be pushing for, I would imagine, a number of things that they'll be working on, but chiefly right now, it is legislation in Texas that they would like to see that would say that homeowner associations would not be permitted to foreclose on its members when they don't pay their association assessments. We'd love to hear from you and what you think on this.
Yeah, give us a call, 651-289-4488.
And before we get into our conversation with Harvella, I'd like to just let our listeners know in the first hour here, we have a free publication for you. It's a bi-monthly newsletter called What's New. A lot of the topics we cover on the show are covered in further detail. Give us a call at New Concepts during the week at 952-922-2500. Ask for Courtney, and she'll make sure that you start receiving your free subscription. And today, of course, we're broadcasting live from the Concierge Landscape Studios, and this hour is also brought to you by Extreme Exteriors. Well, without further ado, let's bring on and welcome our guests this morning to Where You Live, Harvella Jones. Good morning, Harvella.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, let me ask before we get started, what's the weather like down there for you in Texas?
Actually, it's windy, and it's pretty nice. I would say about the 70s right about now. It's really nice.
Oh. We're very jealous. This is the winter that will not end up here in Minnesota.
Close to 90 inches of snow, and I don't know if we'll ever see grass again. But.
Well, I used to live in the north, so I know how it feels.
You've experienced that.
Yes.
Now, Harvella, tell our listeners now, you are the president of the National Homeowners Advocate Group, and tell our listeners what is this group and what is your purpose? What are you all about?
Well, actually, there's two groups. There's the Texas Homeowners Advocate Group, which was our first Homeowners Advocate Group, actually the first organized group in the state of Texas. And then in 2003, we formed the National Homeowners Advocate Group. We're about, actually, the core purpose of our group is to ensure that homeowners get back to enjoying their homes, because most of them right now aren't enjoying their homes. And we're a watchdog group that we monitor the activity of HOAs across the country, along with their agents, which is the attorneys and the management companies. And we also work with the legislators to ensure that we get really good bills that will help the homeowners. And so we try to train people to how to protect their homesteads from foreclosures and just how to go about having a comfortable life that what they actually wanted to have when they purchased their property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you said that the national organization's been around since 2003?
That's correct.
And the Texas organization has been around since when?
1996.
1996. Okay. Mm-hmm. And are you the president of both organizations?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How many folks are in your organizations?
Well, we consider everyone in our organization.
Sure. If you own a home in a homeowners association,
you're in our organization.
You're part of the group.
You just don't know it yet.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Okay. And so there must be, if you've been around for a while, then are there any major accomplishments of those organizations to date that you're kind of proud of?
Yes, actually, starting off with the Texas group, my husband and I, Johnny, were the first ones to whistleblow on the industry back in 1990, actually, is when we started. But actually, we went to our first hearing in 1993. We were invited by Representative Craig Washington, who thought, just like we did, that we had protection through our Homestead Act. We didn't, and we discovered there was a very small, obscure case law that came to our attention. And we took copies of it up to Austin, and we began to educate the legislators up there because most of them didn't know. about it. And so that was, I think, one of the major things that we did. Plus, we started the...
What was that legislation?
That was Inwood versus Harris, a small case law, 1987 case law.
And explain it, because I know what you're saying is you found that the Texas Constitution did not protect a homeowner in an association from foreclosure.
Correct.
By the association, right?
Right.
And it had been assumed that that was a protection?
Yes, Article 16, Section 50 of the Homestead Act and the Texas Constitution, there is no a reference to an HOA or a POA, which is the Property Owners Association, having the ability to foreclose on your homestead. The only exceptions up there is, of course, your mortgage money, your taxes, your vendor's liens, and people voted in reverse mortgages. So those are the types of exceptions that we have. There is nothing up there that allows homeowners associations, property associations, or civic association, whatever name you want to give it. There is nothing in the Constitution that allows those types of foreclosures.
Well, and as I read it, there's nothing in it that prohibits them. It doesn't explicitly allow them, but that's not what this article is about. This article is about who cannot foreclose? Maybe I'm getting myself confused.
Well,
here.
Well, actually, in the Constitution, it's none of that, kind of silliness, we call it, that, well, if it doesn't say it, we can foreclose. No, it doesn't work like that. We start taking people's homes. You have to have some kind of a rule, a law to abide by, because these are the roofs over our heads. And so you need to have something that gives you the authority to do so.
The explicit permission to do that.
Exactly. So the way they did it is through a case law, Inwood versus Harris, which these three Supreme Court justices, 1987, allowed one homeowner association called Inwood North Homeowners Association. There was a handful of homeowners who had not paid their fees. This all throughout the process, this was a default judgment. They never showed up in court. And in this particular case, and it does say that in the case law, that these handful of homeowners, because it was specifically referenced in their deed, which it was,
right.
It was a specific reference to these assessment fees, that they created what they call a contractual lien, and
right.
that they could foreclose in this particular instance. Well, what they did with this case law, the industry, the cottage industry that developed as a result of this, they took that case law and spread it throughout the state for any type of dwelling, a single-family home, a condo, a townhome, anybody they can foreclose on.
Well,
and that's for non-payment of their monthly assessment.
Right, exactly. But they try to extend it to other things. Now, the problem with this case law is that the Supreme Court justices, as you know, a judicial body only has the authority to interpret the law. They don't have the authority to create the law, but that's what they did with this
Sure,
case
but they
law.
were interpreting contractual law.
Yeah,
at that point.
Okay.
Right. But there was never, and when you come to foreclosure, there was never any case prior to Inwood that allowed foreclosure on the contracts, and so that was the error. I mean, that's outside their jurisdiction.
That surprises me, because I've been looking at mortgages and deeds for many years, and they all say that the association can foreclose for non-payment. I mean, I don't think this is a new. This isn't a new phenomenon. Well, in Minnesota, it's gone back to the inception of Kiowa, which was 70. When was Kiowa, Gene? 98.
96.
Okay,
for Kiowa, but even before that,
the Uniform Condominium Act. Yeah,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not an uncommon thing, and it's not a new thing, I guess, is my point.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit more about this, the Texas Constitution. I think that's an interesting point. But Harvella, we're up to a hard break here. We need to take a moment for our sponsors, folks. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, give us a call, 651-289-4488. We're talking with Harvella Jones of the National Homeowners Advocate Group. We'll be back after this.